Followed by Blaine Zubris and Wilbert Moore. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is true?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
My name is James Peterson. I'm a clinical social worker. I work as a community integration counselor. So I really want to be helpful today. I came here to really be helpful. I've been on this waiver since about 2002 and provided CIC counseling to over 100 people easily with brain injuries. And doing individual and group counseling. I've worked with so many people with so many different stories. And I know you hear things like somebody had a stroke. But having a stroke is just so many things. I mean, I look at you guys. I mean, you could be one of my clients tomorrow, very easily. I've worked with people, and one day they have their life going in a certain direction. The next day they have a stroke, and everything changes. First of all, they're lucky if they survive. And it's one of the most horrific experiences. I mean, I've heard so many people tell me what it's like to have a stroke. It's the most horrendous, horrific experience. And the way it affects their families, if they go into a coma, they don't know if they're going to come out of it. But then they finally get out of the coma, or they finally get back to their homes, and they get these services around themselves. So I want to talk about the waiver. What I look at is the waiver is working. We've worked really hard to get this waiver to work. We worked on increasing communication and teamwork, multi-agencies working together. And I've worked with hundreds of providers in all the different agencies. I know how they work. I know their commitment to their work. I know how much they're willing to give to their clients. Now, I want to pick up what John McCooey had said. Because if the real issue is about us getting more time to really talk about this, I think that's the real issue then. Because we need to take more time to think about this. Because what I look at when you're talking about the needs of people with brain injuries, they're so complex and so varied. So to look at somebody that has a memory issue, they need support going to their appointments. They need to make sure they have somebody to follow up with things. Or they can mess up their medications. They can mess up their health care. I mean, you have people with speech aphasia issues where they can't really communicate themselves. How are they going to advocate for themselves? So, like John was saying, you take service coordination. I've worked probably 100 service coordinators over the last 13 years. I mean, they're indispensable to the waiver. You've got somebody that can be really responsive to the needs of their clients. I mean, without doing that, these clients are really out there. And usually they have a requirement to see a client once a month. If a case manager has 80 clients, how are they going to do that? How are they going to be responding to the needs of these clients in crisis situations, shifting into different roles in their jobs, their relationships? I mean, as a community integration counselor, what I do is I go into people's homes when they're at the lowest point in their life. They've lost their ability to walk. Their relationships are breaking up. Their spouses are not really sure they're going to stay with this person or not. They feel so low self-esteem, their dignity. So what I look at is, what is their choice? Do they get to make a choice about this? And who's really making the choice about what services? Because the bottom line, if it's quality of service, we have quality of service. Our waiver is providing quality service. And I've worked 25 years as a counselor. I worked in inpatient programs, outpatient programs, addiction, mental health, family prevention, Center for Disability Services, private practice with insurance companies. And I can tell you, the waiver is doing an excellent job. We have integrated services. We have communication and teamwork. We have specialized training to help people to be able to respond to their needs. And these people really deserve that. I mean, they really deserve that kind of care and that attention, that responsivity. And when I think about that not happening, even myself as a TBI waiver provider, if they're going to say to me, you know what, you're going to have more people on your caseload, and we're going to force you to reduce out your rate, I won't be working here in 2018. I've been on this waiver for 13 years, and I will not be working here, because I won't be treated like that myself, and I won't let my clients be treated like that. So I really respect the role that you have and your expertise, so I'm sharing my expertise. I've been a clinician for a lot of years, and I've worked with so many people with so many complex issues, and people with brain injuries is so complex because every single person's an individual. And there's so much about what their emotions are and how they see things and how they function. These people have lost their jobs, their ability to drive, their significant others have left them. So what I look at, if we can take more time to really think about this and really look at it more cohesively, with respect to these individuals that really deserve this care, I mean, that's how I would want to be treated. I mean, do unto others, do unto you. When I approach my counseling, it's always the same thing. How would I want to be treated? How would I want to be listened to? So I'm telling you from experience working with hundreds of people, these people have been through so much. They have such a hard time with change. And if we have to do this change, I will help you working in this change process. I'll give you my card. I can consult with you about it. But slowing things down is the key.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Could you, in a few words, compare your job description with a service coordinator's job description?
I work as a community integration counselor, and what I do, I'm a master level clinician, and I go into the home and I work with them on adjustment issues. So if they're going through grief issues, anxiety, depression, adjusting to living with their brain injury, helping them to coordinate and work with their services and working through their issues of grief and denial and behavior issues. So I help them to be able to reintegrate back into the community. A service coordinator, they're coordinating all services. They're dealing with the PBIS, they're dealing with the CIC, they're dealing with the ILST. So they're working with structured day programming. All these services are being coordinated by the service coordinator. You have someone that's dealing with 80 people on their caseload. I have friends right now in the mental health system, and they're so burnt out working with 80 people on a caseload, they can barely remember who they're actually working with and what their issues are. So for them, they're barely able to keep their job. And what I see is going to happen here is most people are going to be leaving the waiver because myself, I mean, I can make $90 self-pay working private practice, $60 with insurance private pay. I choose this job because I love my job and I really care about these people.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Blaine Zubris?
Yep, that's me, sir.
And do you swear or affirm that the